up, One Nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's book nerdigan discussion is going to be on Boundless by Cynthia Hand, which is the third book in the Unearthly series. And at the near the end of this video, I'll probably explain why, Cynthia, you need to write another book for this series. This series cannot end like this. I just will not accept it. And yes, this is part of the hashtag AngelReadAthon. There will be a little rant probably near the end of why there needs to be another book. If you have not read Unearthly, Unearthly, Hallowed, Radiant, which is book 2.5, and Boundless by Cynthia Hand, then seriously, why the commie are you here? Go read the books, go watch the book nerdigan discussion videos, and then come back so we can talk about it, because otherwise you're really not going to know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, this is the beautiful cover. I love that the writing is consistent with the covers, and I love that there's a different color scheme for each one. So yes, I really, really love it. So thank you, Minnie Popo, for showing that off as usual, and let's get to the discussion. Again, Cynthia, I'm really sorry it took so long for me to do this, but fuck, I'm going to get all my book nerdigan discussion videos done by the end of this weekend and uploaded. So anyway, so the prologue for Boundless is Clara's vision, and she is hiding in the darkness, and that's all we really get from that. So then we get to Clara and Billy packing Clara up for Stanford, and Wendy comes by and gives Clara back her things that she borrowed and stuff that Clara gave to Tucker. Seriously, Tucker is done with you, Clara. Quit pining. It frustrates the hell out of me. I want to punch her in the face. I swear. And Clara taught Angela how to transmit mental thoughts, but can't receive them. And Christian, I love what Christian said. It was great. He said, so she can speak but can't listen. How appropriate. And Billy and Walter, Christian's uncle, got married over the summer, which is really sweet. I kind of wish we would have gotten to see that wedding, but whatever. And Clara heals Amy's ankle, her friend Amy's ankle with Glory, and decides to go pre-med. And Christian he is not happy about that at all. No. And then while Clara's visions are about the darkness, Christian's are about the light, and he wields a flame sword. Interesting. And I thought this was really sweet, because obviously this is when they're in Stanford, and I thought it was really sweet that Clara took Christian up to Buzzard's Roost, and which is her safe spot. And then every time Clara meditates in her happiness class, yes, people at Stanford, I have to double check this, there is a happiness class. I don't know why, but I'm just going to keep on going. I don't want to get political here. Let's see. And I thought it was sweet that Christian and Clara that when they flew together, I thought that was so sweet. And then we get Jeff visiting. I was like, yay, Jeff, he's okay. And Jeff revealed something interesting, that Maggie knew Jeff was going to run away, and plus she helped him prepare for it. And it's like, damn, what, Maggie? Why the comic couldn't you at least tell Clara that Jeff is doing something? Because think about this, Nerdigans. And Maggie would have said something to Clara back in Unearthly about, Jeffrey getting his purpose. Because Jeffrey knew that Clara was getting her visions. She didn't know that Jeffrey was getting his vision. So I was just like, if that was kind of hypocritical of Maggie to do that. And I wonder, part of me thinks that it would have changed the outcome of this whole series if Maggie would have said something. That maybe Jeffrey would have fulfilled his purpose, his original purpose, which was to save Tucker from a fire, and he would still be in school, he'd be doing something different. So I'm curious what you nerdigans think about that. And let's see. Oh, and we find out here that black wings take the form of birds because it's the only way they can fly due to sorrow, which is really, really interesting because usually the fallen angels that we've seen can fly. So this is a little bit of a different turn. And I like that Sorrow is on that. It explains it. And they meet Angela, and then Clara meets Angela at the church because she found the words in her vision. The seventh is ours, and 7 is the number of perfection and divine completion. It's God's number, and it happens in a specific spot in that church. And she says, I'm going to come from that direction, the left, and I'm going to climb up these 5 little steps, and there's going to be someone waiting for me right here, and I'm going to tell him the 7th is ours. And I love that Jeffrey's having weekly brekkies with Clara. I think it's sweet. And Michael comes to visit and gives Clara a bike for her late birthday gift. And he said this. He said, your mother arranged the presents. She knew what you'd want. And she was also the one who suggested this bike. She said you need it. Oh. And Michael, on July 11th, what Clara was told was his birthday, that was the first, and I thought this was sweet. That was the first full day I got to spend with your mother. The first day of our time together, July the 11th, 1989. Aww. And why Michael is really there in the first place. He says, I've been given the task of training you. I don't know if you know this about me, but I am a soldier, and swordplay is a specialty of mine. And people often mistake it for a flaming sword, and from the way the light ripples, but it is made from glory, not fire. A glory sword. It's part of the plan. Oh gosh, I gotta do the Eisen thing here. Everything is going all according to plan. All according to our plans. And this is what Michael says on Crossing, and that's how they're heading to Jackson for training. And I want to do that. I really want to do that. And it kind of sounds like a Papa rating. I don't know what you guys think. Nerdigans think. It reminds me of a Papa rating and instant transmission. So, it's bending the rules of time and space in order to move from one place to another very quickly. The first step is glory. And as with the Papa, with the Papa rating, you have to use magic. So that's a little bit, and with what is it again? With Crossing, it sounds like with instant transmission, you have to focus on the key or the energy of the person you want to find and then go. So yeah. Let's see. You brought your mother back from hell. In the state, you have the access to anything you ask for. You must simply learn how to ask. That is how one passes between heaven and earth. Oh, I thought there was the in-between. And how it's possible for me to travel from one place on earth to another, one time to another. Crossing is a vital skill, and it's not as difficult as you might think to achieve. We are all connected. And then I put in parentheses in my notes because it was a total Mufasa and Simba moment. And the great circle of life. It had to be said. I'm sorry. It had to. Actually, I'm not. Sorry. Everything that lives and breathes in this world, and glory is what binds us. And every place has a piece. So, from that sentence right there, the Black Wings, I'm guessing from what Michael is saying that the light is the glory. So, Black Wings, I'm guessing they don't have glory, or if they have glory, it's like a shadow glory? I don't know. What do you Nerdigans think? And every place has a piece of that energy as well, a signature. See? It's the transmission, but it's the transmission. A signature, if you will. So move from here to there. You must first connect to that energy. Then you must think of the place you wish to go. Not the location of on a map, but the life of that place. Sounds like instant transmission to me. And accidentally, Clara transports herself to Tucker's Aqua Turtle, and he is a complete ass to her. And I still can't stand that she wants him. God, just fucking get over it. I don't want, this is bullshit. And Jeff, seriously, I'm with you. Christian is Claire's soulmate. Fuck you, Tucker. Fuck you. I can't stand Tucker. He is an asshole. I can't stand him. Because if you, like the other soulmates in this book, yes, Rafi was an ass a little bit in the Pemberton and the End of Days series, but he was still, like, he wouldn't let her go. Rafi was gonna protect her. Tucker, you ain't doing shit. Seriously. I just, I'm like, ah! And let's see. And this is what Jeff said. Kimber was the one who called the police on me, I think. I guess I shouldn't have told her that I started the fire. Why would you do that? Jeff, you are an idiot. Why would you do that? And Huey Lewis in the news, because Jeffrey did start the fire. No, I didn't tell her what I am, what we are. I only told her about the fire. I thought she would think it was badass or something. Are you fucking stupid? Like, Kimber seemed like a goody-goody to me from what we got of her, so I wouldn't have said shit. And Kimber, you're a fucking snitch. Let's see. And Clara finds out that, through Amy, which is Angela's roommate, that Angela is hooking up with Pierce, who is the student guide / student doctor, or what was it? Dorm doctor, whatever. Anyway, and Christian was drunk at the 70s party because they went to a 70s party. He got drunk because in his vision he thought Clara was dying. Well, this is why I don't understand why you don't pick Christian. It pisses me off. I hate this. And this feels like delirium all over again. Pick the guy who's an asshole to you. And then we find out that the crow that's been stalking the living hell out of Clara is actually Sam Giza. And Angela is freaking preggers, and Ben is probably the father, hence explaining the 7th Azars, and this is why you need to read Radiant. So go read Radiant if you haven't yet. Let's see. And Walter dies, and because Walter, I guess, was 120, and Clara goes to the funeral with Christian, and then Christian asks Clara at the funeral for a real date, and like that's like at first I thought it was romantic, but at the same time I was like, that's just asking for sympathy. Like, she can't say no, and it was smart because Christian knows. You like that would just really fuck up his day. And then Sam Giza tells Claire how he met Maggie, and I think their love story is so sweet. So the first time was in France. She was working at a hospital because remember, Maggie did say she got a degree in nursing. The moment I saw her, I knew she was something special. She had the divine handprint all over her. And one day, she and the other nurses went to a pond at the edge of town to swim in their undergarments. She was laughing at something. One of the other girls saw me, too, and made a dash for their clothing on the shore, but she stayed where she was. Her hair was brown then because she dyed it, and short for a woman's, just at the chin, but I loved the way it curled against her neck. She walked up to me. She smelled like cloud and roses, I remember. I was frozen there, staring, feeling so strange, and she smirked and reached out into my front pocket where I always kept a packet of cigarettes, and for the look of it more than anything, and she took one out of the package, took one out and put the package back and said, "Hey, mister, make yourself useful and give me a light, will ya?" It took me a moment to realize that she wanted me to light her cigarette, but of course I didn't have a lighter, and I said so, and she said, well, a lot of good you are then, aren't you? And turned and left me. And it was a while before I could get her to talk to me again, and longer still before she let me kiss her. You're very much like her, I find. Tell me a story about her. Something small, something new. It's like, aww. I feel so bad for Sam. Like, Sam Giza isn't an asshole either. And I just feel so bad for him. Because, and this is why I feel bad for Christian too. Because it's like, he is such a sweetheart. Like, yeah, he kidnapped her and tried to take her to hell, but he just wanted to be with her. He couldn't wait anymore. let's see. And then Sam was demoted. He said this. He said, my brother and I, we have had a difference of opinion regarding your mother. He's the one you should truly fear. Asiel. Asiel seeks to try Claire. He's always fancied himself a collector of beautiful women, powerful men of angel bloods, especially those with higher concentration of blood. He believes that whoever controls the tri-player will have the advantage in the coming war, and thus he is determined to have them all. If he finds out what you truly are, he won't rest until you either submit to his will or he destroys you. And Clara tells Tucker they can't be friends. Thank God, like, I should have like a hallelujah sound. I need to get a soundboard together and just fucking play it at this point. Because seriously, holly freaking hallelujah. Common sense, Clara. Common sense. And then Michael mentioned on the Blackwings during their winter break training, and he says, Blackwings are unlikely to harm you directly. They're still angels after all, and to hurt someone on the side of good goes against our design. It would cause even a Blackwing a great deal of pain, and that's why they prefer to use minions to inflict any physical damage. Excuse me. Blackwings do their evil work through the Nephilim, and the Tri-Player are the most powerful of the Nephilim. And then Michael talks about Asiel, and he said, Asiel is very dangerous, and perhaps the most dangerous and holy evil of the Blackwings other than Satan himself. Without pit, without hesitation, he takes what he wants, and if he sees you, if he knows what you are, he will take you. He has killed or enslaved many, if not most of the Tri-Player. There are very few of you. In fact, there are never more than 7 Tri-Player walking at the earth at the same time. And at the moment, Asiel is in possession of at least 3, and Angela's kid, as I said, is the 7th. So, because the other 3 Tri-Player right now are, let's see, are Christian, Jeff, and Clara. So, and then Michael says on Ben too. This is what he says on Ben. He says, "Disgusting, cowardly creatures, the ambivalent, worse than the fallen in many ways. They have no conviction of all." And rules for the date. And I love what a Christian does. I totally would be down for this. 1, Christian is paying for everything, and 2, no angel-related topics. And, like, the date is going well, and then Christian's about to kiss her, and she thinks of Tucker, and Christian can see her in her mind, and it's just awkward. Awkward turtle. And Sam appears again. Like, seriously. And then she ends up at Tucker's again. It's like, God, does he have like a magical dick or something? Come on, why? Like, he is an asshole. If I were her, I would be a Christian. I would be with a Tri-Player, because like everything, the connection and everything is just like, it's like they're soulmates. You're fighting against the soulmate. I mean, even Violet stopped fighting it, and she was so happy. And yeah, she had a soft spot in her heart for Phoenix, but still, come on. Phoenix is a little bit of an asshole, but he redeemed himself. Let's see. And then this is what Sam tells her another story about Clara, another story about their life together, or about their relationship, I should say. He says this: "I took your mother dancing once. She wore a red dress, and the band played Till We Meet Again, and she put her head down on my chest to hear my heart beating. Of course I have a heart. I can be wounded the same as any man. And she sang to me that night as we danced, and smiled the while you kissed me sad adieu. When the clouds roll by, I'll come to you." And this was in 1918. And he goes into more detail about the charm bracelet. "I gave this to her on her doorstep right before we said goodnight. All that summer, I would leave charms for her to find. This one, which was a fish, for that time I saw her at the pond. A horse, this one for when we rode through the French countryside after the hospital where she worked was bombed. And the heart charm to represent his love for her." Oh, God, it's so romantic. Like, even though Michael and Maggie's love story is really adorable, so is Maggie and Sam's. Like, I'm torn. I'm torn for who I would have wanted Maggie to be with, but it sounded like to me that Maggie was more happy with Michael than with Sam. Even though Michael wasn't there as much, it sounded like she was a lot happier being with him. And so only the White Wings that can access glory can travel through time. Interesting. Yes, angels, or I should say intelligears or tri-players that are what? Yeah, no, I'm not saying fallen. Yeah, so intelligears and tri-player with white wings can travel through time. That is badass. And the next day, Angela dropped out of Stanford, and her mother picked her up for home, and Angela has the baby. And then Michael, now we get some explanation on the glory sword from Michael. He says, a glory sword is more than a simple weapon. I have talked about a sword being an extension of your arm, imagining that it's part of you, but a glory sword is more than a metaphor. The glory is part of you. It grows from the light inside you, that energy, that connectedness to the power that governs all life. There's nothing, not on earth or in heaven or even in hell, that can overcome that light. If you believe this, then the glory will shape itself into anything that you need, or an arrow, as you've seen. But the most effective form is a sword. It's quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged blade, piercing even to the dividing of soul and spirit, and of the joints that marrow, a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. I think you'll find the sword more useful than anything else, and tasteful, because the enemy uses a blade as well, and fashioned from their sorrow. Typically, it's shorter, more like a dagger, but sharp, penetrating, and painful. It injures the sword as well as the body. It's difficult to heal. And remember Belial's blade or Belial's knife from the Angel Fire by Courtney Moulton series? That's what that reminds me of, what he described. Let's see. And then Michael on Christian's black and white wings, and because remember, like what we've known so far up until this point is that white means good, black means bad, and black and white, it's kind of hard to discern. It happens when a child born from a white-winged mother and one of the sorrowful ones. It marks the black wings leave to identify their tri-player children. So, yeah, Christian's mom banged a black wing, or a black wing technically banged her and knocked her up. And glory swords only hurt dark wings. That's good to know. It's kind of like Angel Fire. Angel Fire only hurt demonic reapers. And then here we go, Michael and Christian's black and, oh wait, I said that already. And Tucker confesses that he still loves Clara, and of course Christian saw this happening, and then Clara saw Angela and Webb, who, that's her son's name, is Webster. I thought that was cute. And danger via vision. And we, holy communards, we found that a seal is Angela's dad, and a seal killed Angela's moms and hurt her soul. And holy shit, one of Aziel's daughters is Lucy, the girl that's dating Jeff. That's Jeff's girlfriend. And Christian killed Olivia, who was her twin. And the Black Wings can't go on hollow ground, but the tri-player can. Oh yeah, Black Wings can't hollow ground. Yeah, I said that. And the tri-players are gone. And according to Angela's journal, Fenn warned her about the Black Wings coming. So Fenn isn't an asshole after all. Go Fenn. And Christian, and then Christian says he still loves Claire and wants to be with her. And it's like, I'm just like, seriously, Christian has been there the whole fucking time. Tucker is a dick. Why? Just, God, it frustrates me. And poor Angela, she found out that Fenn was assigned to Angela, and it was a job for him. And Clara joins, and then Clara becomes initiated and joins the congregation too. And Doubting Thomas, seriously, they call this guy Doubting Thomas, helped Clara get her vision in the maze of the Memorial Church. And Clara calls for Sam back at Stanford, and he will take her to hell to save Angela for a story. And Clara and Christian's purpose was to save Angela. And Maggie never sold the house to prep Jeffrey for running away. For running away. So yeah, their house back in Mountain View, where they originally moved from Mountain View to Jackson Hole, that she never sold it because she wanted to make sure that because she knew Jeffrey was going to need it. That was so fucking smart. And remember when Michael said that White Wings can travel through time? Well, Clara did that on Buzzard's Roost. And she meets her mom's past self on there. And this was the night before Michael proposed to her on July 12th, 1989. And this is Maggie's side of Sam's story, which I really love it. We became friends of a fashion. We became more than friends. At first, I think it was only a game for him to see if he could win me, but as time went on, it became more for both of us. Then one night in the hospital was bombed by the Huns. Everything was on fire. Everyone was dead. I clawed my way out of there, and it was just fire everywhere. And then Sam rode in on a horse and said my name and reached out his hand for me, and I took it, and he pulled me up behind him. He took me away from there. We spent the night in an old barn near St. Sierra, excuse me. He pumped some water and made me sit down, and he washed the soot and blood off my face, and he kissed me. He's kissed me before, but after that night it was different somehow. Things had changed. We talked until the sun came up. He finally admitted to me what he was. I had already guessed that he was an angel. I felt it when we first met. At the time, I wanted nothing to do with Angel, so I tried to ignore him. But he wasn't merely an angel. He told me how he had fallen and why. He showed me his black wings, and he confessed that he'd been trying to seduce me because the Watchers wanted angel blood offspring. I was furious. It was all that I'd been running away from my entire life. I slapped him. He caught my wrist and asked me to forgive him. He said he loved me. He asked me if I could ever love him back. I lied. I said I could never care for him. I told him I never wanted to see him again. And he looked at me for a long moment, and then he was gone. Just like that. I never told anyone about that night. Michael knows, I think, and the way he seems to know, everything. But I haven't ever talked about it until now, so there's your story. I lied. I loved him. He was my sun and moon for a time. I was crazy about him. Oh, poor Maggie. And Christian came through because Christian was kind of iffy about going to hell to save Angela with Sam. But Sam, Christian, and Clara are off to rescue Angela from hell via train. So yes, the next time you go on Caltrain, if you're in the Bay Area, you're going to hell. Yeah. And Angela is getting tattooed in hell with all these horrible words like bad mother, slut, whore, stupid, like all that. That's terrible. And Jeffrey is in hell too. Yeah, that fucking bitch Lucy tricked him. And Clara got Jeffrey because Sam originally said to do not talk to anybody, but Clara got Jeffrey to come with her. So, and they're out of hell and in Tucker's barn, and Asiel and Lucy followed them, and fucking A. Tucker. First of all, fucking A, why there? Why? And then Tucker, you had to walk in. Oh God. And we find out that Asiel is also Christian's father. So remember when Angela said that kissing Christian was like kissing her brother? Well, now we know why. Christian is her half brother. And Clara stabbed Asiel with the glory sword and killed his ass, which was great. And Lucy kidnaps Tucker and flies and drops Tucker in the lake, and he dies for a second. And Jeffrey stabs Lucy, and I was like, go fucking Jeff. And then Clara sees Tucker in heaven and kisses him, and everything goes back. And Clara wakes up to Uriel, and what Uriel tells her is Tucker is alive and he's a prophet. And the day we called a person with so much glory, so much of the power of the divine inside them a prophet, he will be slightly more than human. The prophets of the past have sometimes been able to heal the sick or conjure fire or storms or see visions of the future. It affects the little things. Their sensitivity to the part of the world humans don't usually see, their awareness of good and evil, their strength in both body and spirit. Sometimes it also affects their longevity. And this is what Uriel said on Asiel. Asiel's returned to heaven. His wings are white once more. A glory sword is not just a weapon. It is the power of God, and you thrust it right into the center of Asiel's being. You filled him with light, vanquished him with the truth. When Asiel fell, leadership of the Watchers reverted back to Samjiza. And for some mysterious reason, I don't think he's going to attack you. And then he says this. He says, you're not safe from the Blackwings. The Watchers are only a small faction of the Fallen who will be seeking out Nephilim and pursuing their agenda all over the world. To win the war, we will need to be vigilant in our work against them. All of us, from the mightiest of the angels to the smallest of the angel bloods. There's much work to be done, many battles. And the visions show you forks in the path along becoming who you are meant to be. And Christian is leaving with Angela. As soon as Christian finds out about this, he leaves with Angela. And I feel so bad. Poor fucking thing. And Samjiza added a sparrow charm. Oh, I thought this was sweet when Samjiza added the sparrow charm to the charm bracelet and gave it back to Clara. I thought that was so sweet. So we have a 9-year break. And I want to know about the war. Like, I want to see, like, Jeffrey and Webb and Christian go on an adventure. That'd be fucking awesome. But the tattoos are fading thanks to Webb's love, which I thought was so sweet. I was like, that's awesome. And Clara did get her med degree from Stanford and is working as a family doctor. And Christian is living the dream, his dream to be an architect, And it ends with Tucker having a vision, and he says, we're going to be happy, Carrots. That's all. I hate this ending. I'm sorry. I fucking hate it. I love this series, but this is my least out of the series. I hate this book. I hate it. I hate it. I hate this ending. I don't like it. I'm sorry I have to rant about this, but I want to know what happens in the 9-year time period. I want to know if Tucker does anything. I want to know more about the war. I want that. I want to know more about Jeffrey. I want to know more about what the war, and as I said, with the war. Seriously, make this shit happen, Cynthia. You need to make it happen. And I know that Christian is just waiting for fucking Tucker to die so that way he could be with Clara, because Clara and Tucker are married right now. And I'm just like, this is crap. I love the writing. Cynthia, I'm sorry. I love the writing, but I hate this ending. I hate it. I don't like it. I'm Team Christian all the way. I want to know what you nerdigans think. This can't be the end of the series because this leaves too many fucking questions and it pisses me off. So I want to know what you nerdigans think. I would say, out of all the books, I think Hallowed was my favorite because Hallowed made me cry. Hallowed was definitely my favorite, followed by Radiant, then Unearthly, then Boundless. Boundless was my least favorite. Even though I love the action and stuff like that, I just freaking hate this ending. This ending ruins it for me. But anyway, aside from that, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you, Nerdigans, in the next Book Nerdigan discussion video, which is one that I know a certain author has been waiting for me to do. So, and make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and donate to my Patreon. Until next time, Nerdigans, see you later.